Hi, I'm Sara Davies from Crafters Companion, and this tutorial is going to concentrate on using the Pebeo gilding wax. So you can see we're using some of the beautiful embossing folder designs from my signature collection, the Just for Men range, and I'm going to show you both how to apply gilding wax really well and also to buff it off to a beautiful finish. I've also used some of the dies and embossing folders from my Just for Men signature collection to create this all over fabulous background piece card, which is very effective, very simple to do once you know the techniques. So we're going to start off with the embossing on the black cardstock. So I'm going to use the timepiece, which is one of the 5x7 folders, and the checker plate, which is one of the 6x6 ones. Now the beauty with all these folders is you can actually see through the screen printing on the top. So I can see exactly where I want these designs to appear. So I'm going to pop this one right up at the top there. And then with the checker plate, it's pretty much an all over design. So as long as it's square, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to emboss these through my Gemini machine, but you don't need to worry if you don't have this same machine. They will work universally with all different brands of machines. The beauty for me here is because it's an A4 cutting platform, I can get them both through in one go. Now that is just onto a regular black cardstock. So I take this out now. You'll see we've got the pattern design on, but it's really not jumping out that much at you. And this is where the gilding wax really comes into play. And I'm using the Pebeo gilding wax. I'm going to start with the silver one. And all you do is pop a little bit onto your finger. Now you need the tiniest little amount. So you see how much I've got there? I'm going to take the majority of that off, okay? And then just rubbing it over. Now, if you just wanted a little bit, you can see there, I'm just adding a little bit on, and then you can build it up the more you want to go. So it's better to start with a little amount and pick up more on your finger and add it on, as opposed to going too heavy-handed with too much straight off. So you can see there, if I want that more and more intense now, and just, it's not really a precision application, but your finger is the perfect thing to do it with, really. There we go. And you can see there, I'm just going to smudge a little bit around the outside there. I'm going to do that with the silver. I'm going to do the same down the bottom here with the silver. And then the same up on this top one here. And while I've still got the silver on my finger, I'm going to come and add a little bit onto this one here, and I'm just going to do this in stripes. So just coming across the corner, and you can see there I've got a little bit more on here than I wanted, and you see how it really doesn't come off once it's on. So just be very, very sparing, and you can always add more on at the end. And there we go, and I'm going to fade that into nothing because we're going to fade that into the copper. So there's my silver. I'll just put the lid on there to keep it nice. Now I'm going to use the same finger for the copper, and again taking most of it off and just blending the copper into where the silver finished. So you can see there, you just get a clear transition from one to the other. And then on my nice big clock here, again, you can see just how vibrant it is. Gilding wax, it is actually made with a real metal, which is why you get the super shiny effect. And after we've finished applying it, I'm going to show you how we can even buff it off to get an even bigger shine. So plenty on there, especially around the edges. Right, now what I would say is with what you've got left here, rub it away, because you don't want it to be getting on the back of your projects. Now when I talked about buffing this to a sheen, I've just got some regular paper towel here, And I'm just buffing it like you would metal. And you can see it takes the dullness off and just makes it shine a little bit more. It's as though you're polishing your boots. And you just buff it up to a stronger shine even. And then if you want at this stage, I could go in, and even if I wanted a little bit more sheen still, is I could apply a second coat. And you can see there the difference that second coat now starts to make on top of the base shine. That's your real antique effect there now, and then that's just bringing it to life. Okay, I'm going to leave that there because we need to do another little bit of embossing now. So those are the base background pieces of the card. And then I'm going to do, so I've got the Happy Birthday embossing folder here. And I had this idea that we could use just a small piece of cardstock. And if we managed to position it perfectly, I could get it over the happy and the birthday. So just getting it over there. And again, making your sandwich up. Now this is where your Gemini machine really comes into its own, because we can offer that into the machine. It can feed part way through, and once we know that it's done everything we need, we can stop it and just reverse it. So we don't need to wait the full 18 seconds for it to pass all the way through the machine. And then I'm going to do the same again there. I've got my embossed pieces, pick up a little bit of the gilding wax and just rub it over to really bring it to life. And I'm just going to put it on the happy and the birthday, not on the extra pieces of embossing that we didn't really need. There we go. And then just clean away that excess. Right, now those will be ready to go on the base card. While I put the card together, before we start, I'm just going to do my die cutting. So I'm going to start with the base plate. I think I'll cut into the base. Oh no, I'll hold the base plate. I'll do it the right way together. So that is where you'd put your purple plate, and then you'd have your magnetic. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to die cut the little saw and the little spanner in the silver. This is just regular mirror card, and then I'm going to do the hammer and the screwdriver there. I'm going to do them in the other colour, and the copper. And this is a great way for just using up little bits of scraps. Now what you'll see is, so we'll die cut these through, but you'll see they come out in multiple different little parts, because how I designed these is so that you could do these in different pieces of cardstock and cut them in different pieces of cardstock and layer them up, so you could have the wooden handle of the hammer actually looking like wood, for example, if you wanted. In this case, I'm just going with a set colour scheme. So here we go, just lift these out. Now these will all just pop out. So this is what I mean when I say they come in two parts. So you've got the base of the saw, and then you've got the top part here. The spanner's obviously all just in one. But you can see the detail in these. I think of the whole collection, these are probably the most fun dies we've got in this selection, really. And then to try and make my life easy, sticking these all together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop all the bits through my Xyron machine just to make them all sticky. So all these little individual components will all just now feed in. So you can see with the Xyron machine, you literally just drop them into the top and then feed them in. And what it does is it turns everything into a sticker. So as long as you put it in the right way up, which I almost didn't do there, I'm just feeding them into the top of the machine and pulling them through. There we go. Now the idea with this, you'll see it says all over the back that it's rub and peel technology. So you just rub this all over and then peel the backing paper away. And now essentially everything on there has become a sticker. So now it comes to coming to put the card together. I'm going to start off, first of all, just a little bit of matting and layering. I'm just keeping it simple and using a tape pen here for the various different mats. Now before I stick that on, actually, from this very back to front, I want to stick these down and cover the join with a bit of ribbon. So I've got the base piece, and then that top with the checkerboard effect. And then I was talking about covering that join. It's this one across the middle here, so I'm just going to run my tape pen across there. And then that will go right across the centre, and I can hold that over. So yes, it's definitely easier if you do that before you put your tape on the back. But you see that makes a lovely background piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this up with a little bit of 3D glue gel. So that will mat and layer first of all onto some of that copper card. And then that whole thing, just 2 globules of glue should be more than enough to raise that up. Now I'm going to cover this happy birthday here with a star that I've die cut. I've just die cut it from a little bit of scrap card and pop that through the embossing folder so nobody would ever know that there was some other words under there. And then if you just see, so just popping these through one bit at a time. So here's my hammer. It's going to come from the bottom. So you can see I'm just tucking it under. And it just makes life so much easier that these are already sticky, ready to go. And there we have it. Our monochromatic, shiny birthday card.